What's up, YouTube? How you doing there? Behind the scandal, Jaguar Wright. Shout out to Jaguar Wright, man. I gotta apologize. The last video I put up, I did the edits. When I do the edits with anything on this channel that's screwed up, I did it. Okay. My editor, he was calling me, said, "You did the edits all wrong." I apologize, man. We're gonna keep it up there. We gotta keep moving. And thank y'all, man, for checking out the channel. I'm human, I make mistakes, and I love to own up to my mistakes. But check it out, man. Jaguar and Natania, Rueben and Ariel, Michael Kidd confronts Courtney Burgess secrets. Whoa. I haven't seen this. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. My bad, that's from habit. Let's check it out.
Let me break in here, Lionel, because Ariel got limited time, and Jaguar has just come on the screen. Hello, Jaguar. Meet Ariel.
Hello.
I see you again.
Ariel is her name.
Well, I said see you. I didn't say we met. I saw you doing the Pierce.
Technically, that would be viewing me, not seeing me. It was a joke.
Okay. No, I saw you there. I was great.
Say Jaguar go
because everyone shot their segments separately. But as you know, I did not like the way Vlad handled you, and I spoke up for you then. And I don't know what went wrong between then and now.
I reached out to you. You sent me a message. We never heard from you.
Right. So a lot of people reach out to me once, and
I responded, and you never reached back. That's what happened.
You know, I apologize if you did.
It's cool. Look, you was busy. I'm sure you got a lot.
Right. You know, fell through the cracks. I actually, when I didn't hear from you, I thought I left it where I was waiting for you to call me, because I think the last message I sent was.
Oh, we reached back. We never got anything.
Oh, I okay. Well, again, I don't know, but I don't know how it turned into a problem. Even if
it didn't turn into a problem. What it turns into is that right now, I'm not interested in what everyone else is interested. You know, my objective is a lot different than most people. See, I already know where the problems are. I know where the leaks are. I know where the gaps are. We all know that this is government ran. Of course, nobody wants to say that. I only feel comfortable with saying this because this is a British platform.
I'm comfortable saying it too. It's government ran. The same.
Let's just be very clear about that. My greatest issue is the chain of evidence. You know, Courtney just told us the other day that it was Chris that gave him all of the information. Courtney also said that you came to him by way of Chris, and you and Chris have an association. It's just everything is so muddy how everyone actually knows each other. And then I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you and Lionel talk. And, you know, it's always good to hear, you know, legal eagles bust it up. You know, there's a conversation that a lawyer can have with another lawyer that they can't have with a lay person, you know. So that's always great. And you have a background, you said, working with child cases, right?
With DCF as general counsel. But that was I was representing the department, not so there's two factions of DCF. Most people know the Child Protective Services, which is the department that goes and takes children's and terminates parental rights. That's not.
I know CPS. Sometimes I send them to people's houses.
Right. So that's a separate department. I actually was a lawyer, general counsel for the department. So I represent the agency, if you will, and litigation matters that they had related to the agency actions. So it's a little different, but like, for example, one of my divisions was child care licensing. So all of the daycares that got a child care daycare license in Miami-Dade and Monroe had me sign off on it at one point in time.
Which is interesting. I'd like to stop you there.
Sure.
Because the truth is I don't know if you know, I have strong ties to Dade and Broward.
I did not know
and
that.
Duval.
Okay, I know Duval County well.
Yeah, my daddy grew up in White Springs, Florida.
Okay.
And my family, we have our family, you know, rites of passage, Urgent Inc., based out of Overtown. You know, if you a Dade girl, then you should You know the baseball diamond? My
Little
cousin painted. I'm just saying, my
I
cousin
live
painted that.
very near all of those things. I know
Yeah,
exactly.
no, I'm just saying, but I'm letting you know, my ties are very, very, very strong.
I love the Overtown community, the Gables community, these were foundational Black communities.
My cousin Kadir painted all of those
in the city of Miami. Absolutely. I'm very much so ingrained in Liberty City, Overtown, the Gables.
Me and my family raised a lot of money. And when I first started being arrested for abducting my child, who I had legal custody of, which was nothing but a legal maneuver to keep me in the system so that I would be forced to be on bond and not be able to carry a gun like a law-abiding American citizen. You know, all of that. I was extradited. Matter of fact, the last time I was arrested in Dade, it was when I was just coming back from Morocco. I had been performing at the Palace with Terry Carrington for a Mosaic project. They arrested me clean off the plane for child abduction. Yeah, wow. Even though I had legal custody of my son. Dade County does a lot of interesting things, especially with social services and especially with families. And the truth is, a lot of those agencies are attached to a lot of the children that come up missing. See, I'm very aware of everything that's going on.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I do. I know about it. I know a lot about it. Matter of fact, some of the girls that I was with in Metro West, you know where Metro West is, right? Right?
Wow, they talking so much.
I wouldn't litigate on that side.
Well, I know you would. I'm talking about the agency.
where I would like to be, because I could not stand for the government terminating. I think that's outside of the purview of the government, terminating parental rights, separating families.
Oh, absolutely.
So I have my own issues, which is why I left government work. I worked for the federal government under Trump, under his first presidency. And then I came back after that, and that's how I got the state job with DCF. So, you know, I have my government experience. I really did want to serve my country in a legal way, in a legal capacity. And that's why I do what I do now.
They said my mother died in Dade County earlier this year, and we still can't find the death certificate. Yeah. Fake funeral, all of that stuff happened right on Facebook. There's a lot of things that go on wrong in Dade.
Absolutely.
My issue is this. What Courtney is now on the hook for, which he is now telling us he received from Chris Todd, and is saying that you brought him to Chris Todd. There was at no point in time where you questioned the amount of, that's an orgy of evidence.
Wow, here we go.
I don't know what story, who told what, when.
But I'm just saying what Courtney said to us.
I didn't watch any interview. I don't know if he said that, if he didn't say that. All I can say is I didn't meet Courtney Burgess until October 28th. So to that matter, I didn't know who he was or who he existed until that day. So
that was all very unclear, because he had never stated that you were his attorney before then.
Well, no. Because I did not know him. He did not know me. And I just got a call one day from him saying that he needed some assistance. And
that's funny, because he said that you approached him. He said he didn't come.
That's not correct. So I don't approach anybody. It's called soliciting. I don't need to approach anybody. I'm like Martin. They call me, right? I don't play the games of calling people up. If there are times where I'll generally say, "Oh, I saw you," blah blah blah. But to Courtney, that did not happen. So just setting the record straight for everybody, that's not what occurred.
Well, no, because that's just what we discussed with him here.
Well, I don't know why he would have said that. Probably don't want people too much in his business, which is fine.
So he lies.
But to the point of, I've only recently met Courtney. I only known Chris for a couple of months prior to that. These were all, I didn't even know they were affiliated with one another. I didn't learn that information until afterwards.
Wow.
It's so odd. It's like everyone is so closely connected in this very chaotic situation, and nobody knows each other.
Well, I think, at least to me, I know I was sought out for the reasons that I was already involved in this. So that's,
Right.
I at least know that was how I was approached. Like, I've seen you, I know you're heavily involved in this. I have things that, you know, may or may not be of benefit, or may not, you could benefit me. So, you know, I'm always for being an open ear. If how else do you acquire information? I don't know what I don't know. I have to.
But I wanted to really just get back and lean into the orgy of evidence.
So the orgy of evidence I haven't seen. I don't.
Well, no, I'm not saying that you've
Okay.
seen it. I'm saying that anytime you have those many recordings, those many images all pushed together and just dropped off like a Christmas gift.
Well, again, let me be clear. I had no knowledge of exactly what was or what wasn't until.
I'm not saying that you are. What I'm asking you is, as an attorney who works with skilled investigators, anybody knows that nobody just gets that kind of stuff dropped off like a Christmas gift. It was engineered.
Who am I to tell anybody or to scrutinize, you know, how they acquired information? You know,
I'm not saying scrutinize.
Well, no. I'm just saying a lot of times we have situations where sometimes you can't always trace back a chain of command. We have law enforcement agency who always can't trace back a chain of command. Sometimes
I would have to disagree with that, because
I've seen cases where that has happened.
Well, and usually in most of the cases where that happens, someone dropped the ball, someone got paid, something got lost.
I'm not saying that, but we're talking about, we're not even talking about an illegal space now. We're just strictly talking about regular people, how information can exchange hands. Yeah. And all I'm at with it is when somebody comes to me, because again, Courtney came to me as somebody who needed legal representation for an ongoing matter. He didn't need me to sue someone. So I think people kind of have to misunderstand. I think there's a misunderstanding of the approach of a lawyer in certain situations.
What role you were.
Right. So what role, if somebody like you, Jaguar, if you come to me.
No, but I mean, Chris.
No, but you got to listen to me like I listen to you. Jaguar, if you come to me
I'm talking about Chris Todd, though.
Wait, okay, so if you come to me for representation, you're a plaintiff. I have to file your case. There's one set of investigation I have to do, set of questions I have to ask, a set of circumstances I have to meet before I can say, yes, I can take your case and then go and file it. Now, there's a different situation where you come to me, Jaguar, and say, hey, I got this subpoena. Hey, I have this warrant. I need you to help me clear it up. That's an ongoing matter. Then my investigation is less about what you're telling me, and it's how to resolve this matter in front of me.
And so understood. All of that is understood. That's not the question that I'm asking. The question that I'm asking is that in everything that I've researched and all of the things that I look at, anytime you find an orgy of evidence, it is contrived.
So you're putting this moniker of orgy of evidence. I'm telling you, I don't know it to be an orgy. I don't know.
Courtney said it came from Chris
all
Todd.
I know is the only thing I know is about the one thing I talked about in the book. So if there are more things, I have sat next to Courtney in interviews and heard him say things to you all in real time as he's saying it to me. I was hearing it for the first time too. So again, I had very limited time. You're talking about a 36-hour turnaround for me meeting somebody.
I'm not talking. But see, I'm not talking about the grand jury,
orgy of evidence.
And I'm not. Yes,
I don't know if there is an orgy of evidence.
Well, they confiscated something. My point is, all of these clips that they're talking about, all of this stuff that they're talking about, some of it I'm sure is real. A good share of it I'm sure is not. My point is, it was all put together and packaged for a specific reason. And that's what I don't understand, why nobody is trying to get to the origin of the root.
I get what you're saying. You want to drill down to get to the actual root cause of how this existed, how it came.
Well, no, I know how it existed.
Well, I mean,
and I know what
in a
Kim
package
did.
form it's here now. How did Courtney get it in this package form?
Exactly.
It is now. Sometimes I don't question God's will. Sometimes God puts things in certain paths and certain people, and there lacks explanation for it.
But
and every time
he said it himself that someone gave it to him, and he feels like he's being set up.
Well, I don't know if he's being set up. I know me, Ariel. I have been sounding the alarm about Diddy being a bad guy and bad things happening at his house since 2021. You guys just kind of caught up. Like,
actually, no, I've been talking about it for longer than that.
No, I know, but I mean, in terms of a legal battle, I was trying to bang that drum, and no one was willing to hear me.
That's because everyone was paid off, and everyone was hoping that Kamala Harris was going to get elected. See, this election changes a lot right now.
Let me just jump in. Jaguar.
And I'll see him doing it.
How are we doing, Jag?
Hey,
welcome back. I just want to say, whenever Jag disappears out of nowhere, it's always a fun time. It's like firecrackers going off. But how are you doing, Jag? Welcome aboard. So, let me just recombobulate everything you guys have said, right? Because I think your main point is all this evidence. Why now? Where did it come from? On the Daily Show, I think yesterday or today, we listened, and again, I'm so sorry. Can't remember who said it. Can't remember where it was, but it's on the show. And there was a narrative that said that Kim directly gave everything to Chris, and it was Chris who handed it over to Courtney. Does anyone know the narrative I'm talking about, or anything like that?
I would like for Chris Todd to explain when he started his friendship with Kim Porter.
I would like to,
I've heard, I've personally heard several different versions, so of how things progress.
I can tell you.
Chris said, on this same show, Chris said that he don't know Kim and he never met Kim. Kim did not give him the transcripts or the files or the hard drives or anything like that. I don't know her. That's what he said.
One set of version I heard from Chris and then another one from Courtney. I'm not going to disclose
of
what
course.
those versions are per se. But yes, I definitely heard stories from both of them of how this came into fruition. Yes, so I do know somehow. I would let them explain it to you and tell you what they told me.
Shane said Courtney's watching and considering coming on.
Okay, just
come on, Courtney.
Just blink once, Ariel, if it was in fact Chris that handed it over, and of course, there we go, that's it. Right, okay. So, Jaguar, always fabulous to have you back as always, and just continue, because I know I can know you're not done. I know you've got that face on where you're like, I'm just going to let Ron finish what he's saying, and then it's back on this. So I'm just going to let you carry on with what you were saying. We'll see.
No, I want you to get involved. Ro, come on now. We need.
Honestly, Jaguar, I'm at the point now where all I want to do is a live stream about your music. If I'm being honest with you and stuff like that. I'm being serious with you. Like I want to get on a deeper level with you, and we always meet on the dark side of content.
Well,
and I want to hear all about.
There's a lot of lightness coming because I'm at the studio and we're about to start recording. I got to get this EP finished, and a lot of things that I have to say to the public will be wrapped up in the words that we put on this project. But while I am speaking, out front, I have an issue with anyone who's playing with the legacy of Kim Porter.
Yeah.
I have a big issue. And the reason why I have a big issue is because even though her and I were not best friends, we didn't go vacationing together. When we were all starting out back in the 90s, I remember what we all had to do.
Rest in peace.
We all did to make it.
Yeah.
I remember, I didn't find out that her and Albert were really married until many years later. They kept all of that very quiet. When Quincy was born, everything that was going on at that time, there was a lot. There was a big turnover. There was that big internal struggle with Andre Harrell and Puffy trying to, become everything that he became. Kim was there the entire time, the whole way. Everything that she collected, it wasn't for salacious. It was because if anything should ever happen to her, she wanted everyone to know where to look. Like everything that she did was a flashlight to say, this guy is dangerous. People say, oh, this person didn't say that. But now everyone is finding out that we have like a sandcastle high version of NDAs covering up years and years of abuses. We don't even know how many NDAs Kim might have had to have signed throughout the years. This is the problem with all of this secretiveness, all of this money, all of these lies, and then all of the years. We got to get to the bottom of what's real and what.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Just
Jesus
point of
Christ.
order. Is there anybody, Jaguar et al, et alia, is there anyone or that you're aware of who suspects foul play and disputes the official finding of this lobar pneumonia
Yes.
as far as her cause of death?
Everybody.
I have questioned it.
Everybody.
I'll be sure
Everybody.
has questioned it.
Every human person.
𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 has questioned. I'm talking about people who are directly attached.
And everybody
Question it.
outside of that, I think.
And
as a
everyone
business,
has said it. Everyone knew it.
Everybody.
Listen,
Bring us
the
up to
simple-
speed.
The simple fact
what are
that
the
her
main
gold
reasons?
casket was pre-ordered and ready for her demise before she got sick. Why does no one talk about that? Why did Diddy have a casket ready for her before she even got sick?
Whoa.
Because he's off his nut.
That casket was waiting, ready for her corpse.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this, aside
Before
from that,
she passed away.
very specifically, and Counselor Ariel, you will know this. Who was it who actually conducted the autopsy? Was there any follow-up? A forensic pathologist a la
He's now
Michael
deceased.
Baden.
That man is now deceased,
He's
and
dead.
his findings were foul play.
The original, and then they had it go.
They're
Welcome
coming.
to downtown Miami. And then they had somebody else come in and determine it to be pneumonia. But there were two coroners who made reports at the time. The
And
first
the
was
first one
suspected
Is
foul
no
play.
longer with us.
Right. It's a lot of precarious circumstances.
By
Wow.
the way, that's the same coroner that gave the findings, the real findings to Brittany Murphy's dad.
Mhm.
This same coroner
Mhm.
that uncovered foul play with Kim, uncovered foul play with Brittany after her father demanded it be done. I'm sure they wanted him gone. He was unraveling a lot of stories that a lot of people.
One of the things which people have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that we always talk about this country being the beacon of truth with a wonderful judicial system and freedom of speech. As an example, not to deliver, regarding the other individual that we're talking about whose demise is in federal custody, he had absolutely textbook homicide evidence. Petechial hemorrhaging, hyoid bone cartilage, thyroid cartilage fracture, livor mortis, go down. It could be a forensic pathology 101. And what amazes me is that when the country wants to look the other way, it's almost like in Star Wars, Sean, when they say, these are not the droids you're looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for. Nothing to see here. There you go, Jaguar and Ariel, you and your conspiracy theories. Always going down. And then he starts saying, well, there she goes. And what happens is we have got to start off with the premise that we are not, as 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 says, we are not a conspiracy theorist. We are conspiracy analysts. And as everybody knows, a conspiracy does not mean crazy. It just means a confederation of two or more people. It's an arrangement. And think about this. If you happen to be, especially in a poorer community, where they don't even have medical examiners, they don't even have forensic pathologists. There are jurisdictions that have undertakers. The number of unsolved murders in this country would blow your mind. And if it can happen to her, it can happen to anybody.
Can I
Can I
say something?
just quickly address something in the side chat about book sales, just quickly? So I just want to say, when it comes to our guests and their promotion of their third party situations, we are not responsible for how good they are at business and all of that. Now, I can say openly, because I believe that you are our people, I know for a fact that the individual who is meant to be sending those books out to you is in a panic mode right now because he didn't know how to adjust international shipping and all of this. So I would be directing all of your questions to his lawyer, who is right here, Ariel. So any questions? You've got a great opportunity right here. I'm going to make her full screen. In fact, I'm going to take everyone else away. Ariel,
my goodness.
people would like to know.
Wait a minute, before she speaks, I bought the book on eBay and it cost $250 to purchase the book. I purchased it from eBay because I know I was going to get a copy of that book, or eBay going to give you the money back. And you also know, clearly know that somebody was selling that book to make a profit. So they wanted to get the profit. So they was going to give up off that book. That's why I paid $250. Now, Chris was saying he paid $250 for the book. Wow, like he's a dummy. No, if I would have paid normal price like everybody else did, I wouldn't have got my book. I wouldn't have gotten the book. Yeah. So because Courtney, I'm not going to say Courtney, whoever was selling the book was doing it in a shady way in the first place. That's why people didn't get copies of their book.
They get their books, and what can you do to help facilitate that happening?
Right now I am in discussions with Amazon to figure out what's going on and to see what can and will be done.
Yeah, we're not talking about Amazon. I believe we're talking about this.
And what's going on.
Can we have confirmation that we're talking about the private sales off of an independent website and not Amazon? Also, me making you full screen makes this look like an attack. I'll take you off that. But seriously, could you maybe have a word with Courtney and maybe give us a follow-up, even if it's just a message or an email?
Sure.
We'll put out a statement for him because obviously we're had him on the show.
More valuable information in the next couple of weeks on where we stand with those things after I'm able to communicate with them and get clarity on
there you are.
What can be done and what cannot be done.
Okay, wicked. So
what you mean? Basically, give the people their money back. Basically, if you bought something and you didn't receive it because you can't deliver, this maybe allegedly, I don't have no more books to sell them. Well, give them their money back. You went to buy something, you don't have it, you can't produce it, you can't do it. Give them the money back, full refund. That's it.
You are side chat. If I was you, I would be directing any of that questions to Courtney. I believe he may be joining us. His lawyer has done her best to just to sum that up for everyone. And what else? We're gonna throw at you guys. Jaguar, what's happening up there? What are you saying? What else has been going on here? I'm sure you've got some other things you want. Oh,
I had
Ariel.
a very interesting conversation with someone today before you guys went live, and I'm kind of a little distracted by that because of the topic of that conversation. It's 𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 white. Okay.
Can you expand on people for people who have lived in a rock most of their life or lived under a basement like I have? Can you just expand on some of the names when you bring them in, just for those who may not know?
𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 White is the alleged pregnant mistress who died of an imaginary aneurysm just a few, 2 terms before Blue Ivy was born.
You want to comment on that, Ariel, or are you just responding to the story there? You just respond. Yeah, you're just.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know any of this. Jaguar's always amazing me with new information I've never heard before.
Yeah, I got a bunch of lawyers calling me right now. I want to know all that I know these days.
Yeah,
I bet they. I'm sure they do. And I know you're a very smart woman and capable woman, so you can sift through the people who are just trying to get to the information you have to use you versus the ones who actually want to help you with this.
You want to know the thing that most people don't understand about me, Ariel? I don't have a problem with facing my enemies. I don't have a problem with being around my enemies. Matter of fact, I engage with my enemies probably more than I do with the people that I love in my life. See, I'm old school.
Sound like a Taurus the bull to me.
Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. If I'm spending a lot of time with you, if I'm talking to you a lot, it ain't because I like you.
Yeah.
It's because you got your cat out.
That's that chess moves.
Well, we've got a massive show for everybody tonight. We've had some impromptu guests here with Jag, of course.
Will Courtney be joining us?
Well, we're finding
Well, I
that
was
show.
gonna say I was only scheduled for an hour, and I'm trying to be a good sport. I'll give you a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Instead
Well,
of
Ariel, I just want to say, if you want some easy content before you leave, just look Jag in the face and be like, I was 𝗗𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦's friend, and then just leave the chat and just watch the whole aftermath that comes from that. In fact, if we can turn that into a new drinking game where people can just impromptu jump into Jag's life and be like, I knew 𝗗𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗡, and just watch the madness unfold. Because I'm telling you, man, there's a game there for all your friends of hers. I'm telling you.
Ariel, Natania wants to come in.
So you guys
Oh, yeah,
are
of
fun.
course.
I
Oh.
like it. I like it.
I think Natania's got some questions for Ariel.
Yay.
Yeah.
Greetings, all. Greetings.
Very quickly.
Sean,
Whoa.
Sean, Lionel, Ron, Jag, you know how I feel about you guys. I love you. Ariel, my first time meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Natania, before you get started,
Mm-hmm.
I got someone I need to put you on the phone with.
Absolutely.
She wants to join our little project.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Liz Crokin?
Jag,
course I
Ariel's on the clock, Jag. Okay, just
I'm sorry.
for 2 seconds.
Fine.
We'll talk after.
Your ADHD is worse than my ADHD. Okay,
Listen to me, baby. That's a smart person's curse.
Yeah, I understand it. But just to give Natania opportunity to ask Ariel a question.
Courtney is here as well.
Thank you so much
Courtney's
for your time.
joined us.
Yeah, Courtney, I don't know if you've met Ariel
Here come
before.
Courtney.
We'll move on. Natania, fire away your question.
So, Ariel, anybody that knows me or has even just a remote experience with me understands that I'm about vibrational frequencies and I'm feeling things out, and I'm, no disrespect or anything, but my jury is still out on you, and not from a negative perspective, just trying to feel you out in all of this, because like Jaguar said, there's a lot of information and a lot of moving parts, and it just seems like people keep popping in and popping out, and it is starting to feel a little contrived.
Whoa.
So how do you apply that to
Shut
me now?
up.
How do you
So
feel
I'll
that
apply
I
it
am
to you.
either popping in or popping out, or a part of this tribe nature?
So here's how I apply it to you. I was astounded to hear from Courtney and from Chris, that you were their junction point. That Chris, that Courtney came up. Your awareness of Courtney came from Chris.
Okay.
And Chris's connection to everything, my awareness of the book came from Chris. Chris reached out to me. I was astounded. Most people never get my personal number, but he got it and was texting me and saying, I have some information I think you'd like to see. And so my concern is that for the victims, I don't want, in all of these things, I don't want anyone to lose sight of the victims. And I kind of feel like that's happening. It almost kind of feels a little like some sort of charade is going on. I don't know where, and I can't prove that, but it does feel a little convoluted in this space. It seems like the impact to the victims and for the victims is of minimal consequence to so many people. And I just want to ask you, of course you're representing your client, but I just want to say, in this space, while there are so many people watching, I would like everyone to keep their eyes on the prize. The victims matter. And even though I have yet to be called, I am a victim who, while you've been sounding since 2021, Jag has been sounding for years, I've been sounding the alarm for 25 years.
Yeah.
25 years. And this is too far to come to feel like there's a song and dance taking place. I want everybody, regardless of how you came to this topic and came to this issue, the core element that should not be lost on anyone is how it impacts the victims.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing I hear so very few people that are in this arena talk about. I hear
So I don't know if you've been watching me this whole time, like scroll down, looking at my phone. It's because I'm dealing with my other clients, mainly my client, Ashley. So I do understand, because you're coming from an outsider's perspective. You're not there with me.
I'm coming from an outsider's perspective.
Well, no, I didn't mean, I'm talking about to me, as it applies to your, not with the Diddy situation at all. I'm talking about how I approach, because I thought this was about you saying you couldn't get a read on me yet in terms of making sure I kept the victims in front. So I only keep the victims in front. We have a situation now where, because this is so newsworthy and so media worthy, that we can't, even as a lawyer, I can't control exactly how or what is spun in the media. But in the background, when I'm doing my job, when I'm filing motions, when I'm on the phone consoling my clients, when I'm talking to them for hours and hours and helping them navigate these new waters, this terrain that exists now, very tumultuous terrain that deals with being a victim of Diddy's. I know they would not say anything or would not feel that way, because they know they are my priority. Their case is my priority, and anything to get them justice is my top priority. But I can acknowledge what you're saying. I do agree that because of the sensationalism in the media, it has become sort of muddled who the primary focus should be on. And people like you and others who have been victimized by Diddy for the past 30 years. You know, I've been saying it should be more victims. We haven't even really scratched the surface. This man has had 30 years to rain terror on individuals. And, you know, we're just now scratching the surface of what has happened. And because it seems like so many, because it's so overwhelming, because it's somebody who was really an integral part of the hip hop Black community and music in itself, music, entertainment, fashion. So I think all of that coming to a head is just, in general, murking up the works, honestly. You know, I think that's
So for me, my issue was not necessarily as it pertains to this segment of it. Where it became an issue for me was, and I don't mean to cast any aspersions on you, but where it came to an issue for me was when you first entered the lexicon of the Diddy sphere. And it seemed as though your primary focus was catch and kill for, you know, celebrities to not be ashamed. It almost felt like your interviews were to some degree letting celebrities know, hey, I can be used as a venue if you want to kill one of these tapes that's out there for you. And
I'm sorry,
I know aspersions, but as a victim, that's how it came from.
I can understand how sensitive, and I just want to say, I've only come into your foray that way. I have been doing this for several years with people, including Trey Songz, Chris Brown, Conor McGregor. So I just think maybe I became on a bigger foray where I came into your lexicon of contact with this situation. And just so you know, I am a lawyer. I am in the business of making money. And a lot of the business that I come to, and I said at the beginning of this, where if I could talk about the people who I've settled with, you guys would be more astounded to hear about those than the cases that you know are public. And I did say at the beginning of this that I too can say and take some culpability and playing a role in making sure things like this don't come to the public foray. I'm guided by God and the law principles of the biblical principles. So what I do when I practice law is I send a letter. I call it a come to Jesus letter, because the Bible tells me that if I have an ought against my brother, I take it to my brother first. And then after I take it to my brother, if my brother doesn't rectify it with me, then I take it to the church. And the church in this sense is the court. So every person I've ever sued, I've sent that come to Jesus letter. Hey, this is what's going on. This person has come to me. Would you like to do this? I give my clients the option of that come to Jesus letter, or we can go to straight smoke. Either one is fine with me. But I do that in an effort to give everybody an opportunity, because no man is perfect. So I want everybody to have an opportunity to right their wrongs. So there are more people who come to me that I've been doing this way before y'all saw me on TV saying.
I get that. But that notwithstanding, as it pertains to the parameters for which we are discussing, not your other clients. I love your advocacy for your other clients and for other cases that you've been involved in, but as it pertains to this case, complacency breeds contempt. And he has had 30 years. I don't think anybody connected to the vileness of this case needs any additional time, because for every catch and kill, that's a person that says, whew, got away with it, and then they turn into the new Diddy. I don't disagree
with you.
But as it pertains to this case,
Jag.
I'm wondering,
Natania, you finish.
are attorneys and people that are entering the lexicon paying attention to the fact that when you sit on a national news program and you say, well, I have been approached by someone and we have these tapes and we have the opportunity for catch and kills to take place, you're telling the victims, well, your part of it doesn't really matter. I got to get this Skrilla. That's what it feels like.
Well, no, because I'm not telling. I think, let's be clear. I think what I said was, I'm not going to do it. So let's be clear on that. That's exactly what I said.
That's exactly what I said. I saw you on about
That's
4
exactly
interviews
what I
before.
said.
No,
However,
it ain't evil.
I saw you on about 4 interviews before you said that. I saw you.
And did I say I would sell it? Did I? And I wasn't talking about any
not to sell it. You were presented in this space to me as brokering the deals, and so that's why I say the jury's still out, because the next time.
But I'm pretty clear, and I'm pretty clear on that interview I did September 26th that I explicitly said I was approached to do this and I declined the representation. So everybody has their own moral lines to draw.
Absolutely.
Everybody there are a lot of lawyers who are only out here for that.
Natania, I don't think you're going to get the answer you want.
No, it's not about the answer I want. I was simply, it's not an answer per se.
Right.
It is, and I am trying to.
She's trying to get a feel for me. She's trying to understand.
Outside of that, notwithstanding, I'm trying to present into this lexicon for people that are watching. There are a lot of victims that do not perceive themselves to be able to speak up. They also don't have access to these mediums to be able to speak up. And they also feel a sense of triggering still. I've had 25 years worth of triggering to deal with to be able to eclipse all of those issues and speak truth to power. And so for me, the God I serve, everything has a start and an end. And I feel like at this point in time, this is the end for him. I don't think any deals, and I understand your job as an attorney, and I'm not trying to take that away from you, but at this juncture, deals should not be struck with people who participated in things that were hurtful to others. Right now, let the chips fall where they may. We are walking into the age of Aquarius. And in the age of Aquarius, truth exists. And if that wall needs to come down, no one should stand in the midst of it.
Well, Natania, I'm going to say this to you. I, as a lawyer, and you as a person who's not the client, it's not my job to tell a client, no, you don't take a settlement because we got to take this person down. That's not my job.
But my job is to present the. You were talking about prospective clients, not your client per se.
So any prospective client, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to look in the camera and say, I'm going to do what you want me to do. So if you want to sue and you want justice to be served, great. If you want to have your case resolved so you don't have to be re-triggered and re-traumatized by a trial, that is also great. But I am going to do exactly what you want to have in your case, because that is your call to make, not mine, not anybody else's. My job is to execute your vision. That's it. And I think a lot of people have a problem because a lot of lawyers don't approach the law like that. The way I approach the law is I'm advocating for the best wishes of my client, not my wishes, not what I think is right, not what I think at all. I'm here only in service, and my service is to specifically the wish of my clients. So I do agree with you. I wish everybody wanted to just, oh, I'm going to take this to court. I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to walk away. I'm not going to let them get away with it. But there are a lot of people who have been traumatized and who are not as strong as you, who have not dealt with their trauma the way I have. And I see how much you have been able to work through your trauma and be able to be so strong to stand here in power and tell your truth. But everybody is not there. And for those people who are not there to ask them to re-traumatize themselves and to go
I would
back
never ask
to
that.
the
That's
end.
not what
No,
you
no, no,
put
I'm
out
not
of my
saying,
mouth.
but that's what it becomes, and
Yeah.
that's how they feel, which is why some of these situations get handled privately and others do not.
Well,
Okay, just before everyone starts jumping back in, 1 second,
it just
Natania.
didn't
So
feel like you were advocating for the clients. It felt like you were advocating for people on.
just give me
on
1
tape
second.
that didn't
Just
want
give
their
me
secret to be told.
Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. So one of the things I'm taking from this, Natania, is are you saying that the survivors, the individuals, right, in this case, are going to be overshadowed from situations like hard drives being handed in and faceless and
Not handed in.
celebrities?
It was my desire that they should have been handed in and not on the news brokered for a catch and kill. That's my
okay. I'm with you. Jaguar, one more question, then Ariel, I'm going to give you a chance to
But
talk
I
to
need
Courtney
to say this really fast because I think where we're going wrong in this moment is that we're not properly putting something in context.
Okay.
It's there, but no one seeing it. I'm going to say this, and then the other two things I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's the spirit of the catch and kill, the NDA, and the payoff that has overshadowed Natania Rueben's justice for over 2 decades. If the catch and kill culture, the NDA and payoff culture wasn't so firmly in place,
that's right,
you wouldn't even have anything to negotiate because the diddler would have been gone. So she is speaking from that place to you. Not
facts, Courtney. That's fact.
Lost in translation is I actually took accountability for the role that I have played even in the past and other people. But I agree that is the system. I have to work within the bounds of the system that
understand
exists.
that,
I do agree that the system that exists has precluded her from getting justice that she should have gotten 20 years ago.
Exactly. And if that had happened when it should have, when her life was put in jeopardy, we wouldn't even be here having this conversation now.
We wouldn't.
Okay.
There would have been so many women who would have never been victimized. I agree. I would have 90% of my clients.
That's the spirit. I'm sorry, that's it.
Thank you, sis.
And again, for those in the side chat who are telling me to be quiet, we have a show. I need to let everyone talk. Courtney, before we do Ariel's outro, also tough crowd for you, Ariel. You've nailed it tonight. I have to say, you really done well. I want to say you're when I watch the interviews with you and Courtney on the street, you're a much different person on this interview, and you've done a fantastic job. But Courtney, how are you doing, mate? You've worn the crowd-pleasing glasses this evening. They are the one. How are you doing, sir? What is going on? And have you got the TV on in the background before we start?
I'm doing good. I only came on because Jaguar said I said Chris gave me something. Chris ain't give me anything.
Oh, I said that. I actually said that, and then Jaguar may have came in and said that, but before Jaguar was here,
Chris didn't give me anything. Chris can't give me anything.
Okay.
I am hip hop. I've been in hip hop for 35 years.
Okay.
You understand? Can't nobody give me anything. And I'm not programmed. I don't work for no Jay-Z. I don't work for no Diddy. Me and Wendy Williams been talking about Diddy. Well, I'm gonna stop calling it Diddy, Lucifer. We've been saying that it's time for Lucifer to be banded out of the music.
Just for the sake of more conspiracy theories, Courtney, because if you were on the side of Lucifer, saying his name would empower him in this situation. So I would just go with calling him Diddy, because I could make an hour worth of content pointing towards why you're saying Lucifer. So don't give the opportunity.
Okay, well, the one who's incarcerated. I'm not going to sit here and run games with show that Chris gave me anything. And I met my attorney a day, believe it or not, a day before I was summoned to court. So they had to knock it the next day because I was too far out of the state. You understand? I had multiple homes, so they had to come to different homes to find me. So when they did find me, I called her because I saw online. And Ty said she's a good attorney. I asked him about her. So that's what it was. It wasn't nobody programmed me. Nobody gave me anything that nobody spoke about. Nobody knows who gave it to me. You understand? They don't even exist. The courts have everything. You understand? Whatever they're going to do, I'm not a witness to anything because I was never at his party. I would never set foot in his house. I don't even think he had me at his house. You understand?
Yeah.
So to get it straight, the books was out today. I talked to the people. They sent me the receipt. They showed me the books were sent out. They were stopped, but they went out. Everybody should have their books this week. No, Chris didn't give me anything.
Okay, so how about this, Courtney? Would you be willing, right? And I'm just saying, not because I'm a massive nerd, right? But if we compile, because I've got a Discord community, and you know they do love a bit of keyboard investigating. So I think a lot of times people are saying that's not what you said here, what you said there. And I'll be honest with you, the more times that we talk, the more times I'm either convinced you're just a dude who's in over his head in a situation he was brought into. And then the other half of me is like evil genius, right? And I can't decide which is Courtney. And I think a lot of it is brought on by yourself because you don't really know how to do the internet, if you will. And
no, it's not about I'm over my head. You're not hearing me clear. You can't rewind nothing back and say Chris gave me anything. Yeah. I didn't meet Chris.
You said that already. You said that 10 times. That's the only thing we understand. When Courtney talks, what we understand is what he keeps saying over and over again. But everything else we don't understand. He don't even reiterate himself on them points.
I heard Chris say out of his own mouth on the Popcorn Planet subscriber only video that he gave you Ariel.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about Ariel. We're not talking about Ariel.
We're not talking about that.
We said the Flash. The Flash.
We were discussing the connections to it all. You said Chris can't give you anything. Chris said indubitably he connected y'all to. I heard him say that. No one can tell me otherwise. No. I know it.
Okay, I didn't deny that. I said I saw her on the news and I asked Chris. He said she's a good attorney.
We gonna keep it a beat. Bro, just pull the clip.
Yeah, well, listen. What I'd like to do is again,
indubitably that you have Ariel because of him. He says, "I'm
okay." Well, listen. It doesn't matter how I got Ariel. She's a good attorney. I have.
Well, two things can be.
Wait, just Natania, please, Natania. I need to respect the guests on the platform. And Ariel, you have mentioned already that you've been here way longer than you expected. I'm sorry I cut you off, Natania. I'm not taking sides. I'm just, I'm sadly the co-host who's been sent to the Lions because Sean said, I'm getting out of here. So, and I just want to say,
because I almost was about to lean in and just hit the leave button, but I'm trying to be.
Well, listen, I think I just want to say as well from the Sean Atwood channel, I don't want you to think that this was like a hit job or anything like that. We have very, very passionate people in what I refer to as the didosphere that travels, like Natania said, 25 years. You're just being pulled into it now, as well as Courtney. But again, remember, people, Courtney is hip hop, all right? And there will be a drinking game at some point called My Friend is 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗡. But Ariel, is there anything you want to tell us all before you leave calmly on a positive note? Because I just want to say thank you so much for playing being a good sport with this extra time.
Well, I've had a great time here, and thank you for the opportunity to come to this platform, actually get to interact with Jaguar and meet Miss Natania, who I know and have been familiar with. It was nice meeting both of you women and getting to interact, and hopefully we can have more discourse moving forward, because we at least all have a common purpose, which is to see Diddy face retribution for his horrible actions. And I know Jaguar has a further purpose of seeing the whole industry go down for what has happened. I'm trying to do my part within that, including, participating with the government, as well as filing the multiple cases. I have at least, I think it's 4 more cases, possibly 5. Individuals, and these are just people who have signed engagement letters for me to do their lawsuits and to being used by Diddy. So I do hope, as we continue to move forward, that justice will be served, and I wish we can, as a community, come together and figure out a way where we can nip this problem in the bud, so that it doesn't have to keep going 30 years before an abuser is finally facing justice.
I agree. That was a great way to close. I think most likely what's going to happen is we're going to compile all the things that Courtney has said in interviews for the last 6 months, and then get back and see which ones don't add up. But that's okay. Ariel, Courtney as well. I don't know if Courtney's going to stick around once Ariel's gone, but Courtney, if you do want to stick around, I'll make sure that it's one question at a time and everything's hunky dory. and all the rest. But Ariel, thank you so much for being here, and a big shout out to everyone in the side chat for your questions and your
Thank you
support.
guys, and thanks for having me. Hope to see you soon, and I'll see Lionel. I'll see your wife next week.
Yes, thank you. All the
All
best.
right, bye-bye.
Bye, Ariel.
Thanks very much, Ariel. Cheers.
All right.
Oh, I feel like at one point I'm going to be left here with Natania and Jag, and I'm going to get my ass kicked. I don't know why, but I feel like it's in close. I don't know. I hate jumping in, especially when with Natania, because you know she's got a 7-part like a plan with her questioning, and I'm like, oh my god, am I jumping in at like part 6 or 7 here? So apologies if I interrupted you there, Natania. You'll get a full opportunity to express
the
everything.
truth is, the time was short because Ariel was already on borrowed time. So you know, let's just be blessed that everyone got to be here at the same time.
Yeah.
I do want to say this to you, Brother Courtney.
Oh, shucks.
You got some explaining to do, sir.
Oh God.
I've been praying for you.
Not as much as you.
I've been praying for
Not
you.
as much as you.
And then I come to find out you ain't even go to court. We ain't hear nothing.
I didn't go to court.
I know.
Yeah.
Last we talked, you said you had to be to court.
I had to go. They sent the letter, and I refused to go because I'm not a witness.
Okay, well, I was worried about you.
See, this what kills me about Courtney. Courtney, your choice of words is not great. You had to go. If you had to go, that means you got to go. I had to go, and I refused. So he didn't go. And if you had to go and you didn't go, then you get locked up. That's what us normal people are thinking. I don't understand this.
And then I come to find out you ain't even go to court. We ain't hear nothing.
I didn't go to court.
I know.
Yeah.
Last we talked, you said you had to be to court.
I had to go. They sent the letter, and I refused to go because I'm not a witness.
Okay, well, I was worried about you.
Okay. I understand.
I don't understand why you coming up here so defensive.
Because you sitting there swearing that Chris gave me something. Chris didn't give me anything.
You said that already.
Got to talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll go pull the clip and we'll get it all figured out. I'm just glad to see that you all right. That's all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm about to eat bagels and lox and have me some more wine.
I need to buy me some wine for this.
I love you, honey.
Thank you.
I should go to the store right now.
For stepping in and making clear what was on my.
I know, but I'm so sick and tired of you having to defend the truth that has been willfully ignored. I'm just tired.
Here's the thing for me, and as a victim advocate, and survivor advocate, it makes my blood boil, because for far too long, people getting their money because I'm out to make money has been primary in their mind over the victims. I've watched many, and no disrespect to her, or I was not casting any aspersions. What I will say unequivocally is I've watched quite a number of interviews. See, I'm a purveyor of information and words, and my brain is wired in a very peculiar way. Once somebody says something, that entire diatribe is stuck in my head. I couldn't pull out with a plunger. So when I hear them talk again, and there's one simple difference in what they said, it goes ding, 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 ding in my brain.
Yeah.
And then when I hear them talk again and they say yet another thing different, I'm like, hold on.
I'm with you. I get
so
what
that
like
too
Courtney.
many things are sticking out. I am an absorber of information, and information lives in my head. I have been said by other people to be a semiconductor, and that my brain just takes information and processes it, files it into different file
Too many people on the Wi-Fi
cabinets, and I can recall it with an nth degree, a quantum second.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I know when something is different, and I know when something doesn't smell right. Not the least of which is I'm an empath, and so I go by vibrational frequencies and energy. And when the energy tells me something in the milk ain't clean, something in the milk ain't clean.
Yeah.
Go by energy. I can feel the energy radiating in my body. You've never seen my face look like this on the Sean Atwood show or any show. My blood is boiling because I hear all the contradictions and they are piling up in my head, waiting to come out.
I agree with you.
There are survivors right now sitting in a corner in their house crying every time somebody talks about this case, and no one says victim, survivor. I hear people all over the internet having conversation on conversation, you know, putting up topic headers that are clickbait just for the ability to run up the coins, and no one cares. I walk this walk. I watched people who said they were my friend sell out for a few shekels, 30 pieces of silver like they did to Yeshua.
You better preach.
Okay? And I'm not calling myself Yeshua, but right now I can hear them 30 shekels clinking in somebody's pocket, and it's bothering me. Like he told Peter, you will deny me before the cock crows 3 times. I hear that. I hear it. I can feel it in my gut.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Okay, sorry to just interject here. Can all the mods type in the side chat, please? So I don't know who is here. Can we get the links for Jaguar, Natania, and Lionel? Now, before we circle back, I can confirm you do have something on the back of your dress, Jag. And Courtney, have you met Lionel? Have you had a chance to speak?
No, I haven't met Lionel.
Lionel, is there anything?
Pleasure, sir.
How you doing?
Is there anything? Lionel is an attorney himself. And is there anything that you would like to ask Lionel? And the only reason I'm asking is just to make sure you get an opportunity, because honestly, I don't understand how you've managed to keep so quiet. I've had so many moments where I've just had to blurt everything out.
This is something which is very, very familiar to me. This is something that, you know, whenever you have somebody who is involved in something of this nature, it's not, you see, people think that legal matters, whatever it is. I don't care if it's a slip and fall, if it's a traffic accident or a speeding ticket. That's the precursor. This is about emotion. This is about feeling. It's about justice. It's about everybody's perspective. And even though this subject matter is relatively similar, everybody has a different perspective. Courtney, may I ask, sir, and please, you don't, I don't want to give you Miranda until you have the right to remain silent, but currently, do you have a particular current status of a case, either as a witness or as a subject or anything at this point?
No, I weighed all that I wasn't going to be a witness, and I didn't want to have nothing to do with the case.
And this is as far as a grand jury, or just in terms of
I was summoned twice to the grand jury. I was summoned just the other day, and my attorney sent me a letter to waive that I wasn't coming, that I didn't want to be involved, that I didn't want to be a witness.
Is this a federal or state? Federal grand jury?
Federal.
Correct?
Federal.
And did you at any time take the fifth or ask for immunity or?
No, I went before one. I think they had me for the 29th. I was too far out to be there, so I came that Thursday. And when that was the last day I was there, that's when they took my phone.
Right, I heard about the last time they took your phone, and Ron was trying to explain it. Either they took it, duplicated it, downloaded the information.
Took it.
Did you receive the phone back? Did you ever get it back?
Nope.
Well, what sort of is that, Lionel? Is that I'm on someone else's platform?
First and foremost, I hate when lawyers jump into a case they know nothing about.
Yeah,
and without your lawyer being here, because I'm sure he or she is doing a fine job. But one of the things that people have to understand, this idea of the grand jury, grand jury, people hear about this, they don't really know what it is. There's the petty jury is normally courtrooms. This is the 6 or the 12, depending upon. This is the person who hears the case, the trier of fact, people who find you guilty, not guilty. That's the jury or the petty jury. The grand jury is different. This is the idea, is that in our system, it is a buffer. It is a chance for citizens to determine whether there is enough evidence, probable cause to bring a case. Then if the citizens, the grand jurors do, then the U.S. attorney or the prosecutor delivers a true bill, which is the actual indictment. And the idea of the grand jury is this idea of having citizens act as a buffer. There was a famous statement made by a Judge Saul Walker who said that a good lawyer could indict a ham sandwich. And there's something to be said for that. We can talk about grand jury abuses, but in criminal cases, just generally for your audience, you can be either a witness, a subject, or a target. And a witness is somebody who just saw something. Let's say you were in a bank and you saw an armed robbery, and you just happened to testify that, yes, I was there, and you are a witness. You're not even a part of it. A subject is when you're the subject of an investigation. You're not really targeted, but the target is when you are the person they're going after. And what some people do is they have the right to refuse to testify pursuant to the Fifth Amendment. They say, I am not going to testify because this may have a tendency, maybe, of incriminating me, or I may be in the position of saying something where I inadvertently break the law. For example, Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart was not involved in insider trading with her stocks. She basically spoke, allegedly lied, or spoke inconsistently to the government. So some people say, I don't want to even get near it. If a person claims the Fifth Amendment and says, I'm not going to talk, if you are then granted immunity, I know this is getting complicated, but you can be granted immunity and forced to testify. So this grand jury stuff happens all the time. But the question that most people ask, and I think Ron started it first, is why is this of a federal nature now? Federal versus state. What is the federal interest in this? Federal means it's got to be big, the mafia, it's a huge terrorists and huge, Pablo Escobar, big. This, I would venture to say, and I'm not trying to minimize it, what is so special about this case now with the federal government? And it's great. Hey, terrific. Let justice be served. But I think one of you great folks asked the question, and it really is an interesting question. Why now? Why a federal grand jury? What took you so long? And I think what Natania is asking is, why are you paying attention to this now? I've been here the whole time. Anybody want to hear from me? I've been consistent day one. Now you're interested? Well, what about me? What about, so I can understand.
Slightly different. So first of all, his attorney was here. Ariel Mitchell is Courtney's attorney. The young lady who just left us is Courtney's attorney. Second,
I don't think we told Lionel that, if I'm being honest, because I don't think he'd met Courtney beforehand. Lionel's a returning guest, but he's.
I did not know. I didn't know. Okay,
that is his
the boss just messaged me and said, I don't think Lionel realizes that Courtney and Ariel were is his lawyer. So apologies, Lionel, for that.
And I'm never just saying, what about me? Because my justice comes from God. So I'm not, my thing is, I am going to be the voice of the voiceless amongst everybody in the fray. All of those people who are witnesses, victims, survivors, and their day in court is yet to be had, and their justice.
I didn't mean, what about me? Well, you're right.
No, I get you. I get what you're saying. Nothing against you, Lionel, and I appreciate you.
No, I understand. No, I understand.
Into the discussion. But I'm going to be that voice for people. My thing is, and like I said, I am not here to disparage anyone. But my thing is, when I'm watching someone on news programs and all I can see is a self-aggrandizing attempt to broker a deal, it bothers me. Especially when that deal is relative to a federal ongoing prosecution and case that is standing right now. If you say you've seen evidence, you have possession of evidence, you've seen the evidence, and there is an ongoing federal trial that pertains to the schmeck trafficking of people and abuse and all of that, and we had to watch a woman kicked in the face and kicked in the gut and vases thrown at her after someone espoused, enough is enough, I haven't done anything. I want everybody to be mindful of the role they play, because I've seen the 52 fake out occur already. 22 years ago. Everybody saying this, that, and the third. And guess what? He walks out like George Jefferson to the mic, like, I'm off. I can see the duping delight. You know what duping delight is? In psychology, they teach us it is a condescending smirk and grin when you feel like you've gotten over on somebody or you're pulling the wool on somebody. I've seen that grimace too many times as it pertains to this case. I've seen it too many times, and something don't pass the smell test with me about it.
Can I say something?
Of course you can, Jaguar. 1 second. Let me just move you in.
I'm just making my observations.
Oh, God.
Courtney, what's on your mind?
Oh, God.
What's on my mind?
You look very macabre and removed. You
No,
seem
I'm not
very
removed. Listen, don't judge me. I'm not removed.
I'm not judging you.
Good. Oh, good. My goodness. It's over with. Woo. I thought Jaguar was going to get on Courtney. I want to call Jaguar. Looks like her name should be Courtney to me. I'm terrible with these names, but Natania's right, man. She went there. I like Natania. She went there. She went there and said, "Look here, lawyer. The jury is still out as far as I'm concerned, and my feelings about you because you got on the news and started promoting that you got basically. This is what I heard from her." And I was cut off. I cut her off also, Natania, because she said basically, to sum it up, allegedly, people have came to me to shop tapes. And the lady that was interviewed said, "Did you see the videos or the footage?" "No, but I seen stills of it. And they want me to shop and contact these celebrities to see if they want to buy the tapes. So I'm the middle person brokering the deal." She didn't say brokering the deal, but basically these people have done things, and she's the lawyer in the middle of this that's making this happen. So Natania has actually gotten the same vibe that I got from her, basically. And I'm like, well, if you the lawyer brokering this deal, what if, and maybe it was probably something different, what if it's minors, it's people being ordered, people are getting things done against their will, it's on this tape. So you the lawyer that's going to make sure this don't go to court if this person pays. You're covering up this crime, and I don't like that. And Natasha doesn't like that either. And that's where I stand with this lawyer. I said, I don't think I like her. If I'm a lawyer, I got to make money some other kind of way, not that way. Look here, I'm going to get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light. Y'all take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.